My name is Tim Rebick. I'm the Vincent L. Gregory Professor of Cancer Prevention at the Dana-Farber Cancer Institute and the Harvard T.H. Chan School of Public Health. Well, I think prostate cancer is a very important disease to study because it's the leading cancer in men in terms of diagnosis. And even though many men don't die from their prostate cancer, it affects quality of life. It affects decisions about lifestyle. It involves treatment and follow-up over many years. So there are a lot of background things that are going on among men who are diagnosed with prostate cancer that may not end in death, but certainly affect their life. And as I started delving into it more, I also realized by doing reading and understanding the literature, realized that there are some people in the population that really have much more severe disease, die from their disease more commonly than others. And one such group in the population are African Americans. And when I started understanding that there are disparities by race or ethnicity or where you live or how you have access to care, it became really fascinating to me to understand how all those things came together in order to start addressing, intervening, intercepting on those risks to make sure that everyone has equal access to care, equal outcomes, and that sort of thing. We've recently built a very large network in Africa and in the United States to study men of African descent and prostate cancer. We have a network called MADCAP, which is Men of African Descent and Carcinoma of the Prostate. And we're using this network to understand basic underlying genetics and genomics, biology of prostate cancer, as well as social determinants of cancer, access to care, things that affect an individual's risk of cancer, but also their ability to have screening and treatment. So we've built this large network to be able to ask that question across the African diaspora. One of the great benefits of using and working with Applied Biosystems technologies was the ability to develop novel platforms and tools that were specific to the African setting. Most of the technology that people use to study Africans was developed in European or at least non-African populations. And as a result, they don't capture the African genome as well as they should. We worked with Applied Biosystems technologies to develop African-specific tools that really allowed us to drill down into the African genome, into the genetic architecture of African populations in a new way. And that was something that really pushed our work forward and allowed us to do something that really hadn't been done in the cancer world before. So it was an incredibly valuable interaction, and the flexibility of designing our own tools for that specific purpose pushed our science forward a great deal. It's not hard for me to get out of bed in the morning and be excited about what I do. The work that we are doing in prostate cancer, and particularly prostate cancer disparities, really addresses an important public health problem. There are men out in the population, any man, but African American men in particular, who really have experience unnecessary suffering and death from cancer. And we can see a path forward to alleviate, to minimize that morbidity and mortality. I think there's a lot of very exciting promise in prostate cancer, in medical research in general. I think that we're at a really interesting phase of the scientific progression, scientific knowledge. We have really great basic fundamental information about what causes cancer, what causes disease in general. We have methods and tools that allow us to implement and translate that information. So it seems like the real exciting thing that I hope will happen in the coming decades is that we'll be able to really integrate that basic knowledge into interventions, into therapies, into preventive strategies, translate them into tools that can be used in populations and get out to everyone.